Team of the week. My panelists, Jacob Isia, Alex Kinywa, Steve Shitera, are all but ready for the show, including Brenda Ongalo, a sports lawyer and analyst. Welcome to Sporty Monday. My name is Isaac Swilo-Tijan. But first things first, here is our question of the day. And today we are asking you, what should be done to uplift the standards of the Kenyan Premier League? What should be done to uplift the standard of the Kenyan Premier League? Talk to us, 22422. The SMS lines are already open. Hashtag Sporty Monday. Of course, we are also on social media, on Facebook. You can X us at Citizen TV Kenya, at Isaac Swila, at Steve Shitera, at Jacob Isia. And of course, we will be sampling your feedback during and at the tail end of this program. Kenya Harlequins are the 2024 National Sevens Circuit champions despite finishing 5th in the circuit's last leg. The Prinsloo Sevens in Nakuru, Quins won the Gong after their closest rivals, Kabra Sugar, failed to claim maximum points at Prinsloo. Our rugby beat reporter, Alex Kinywa, looks at how the Quins return to the top of the Sevens rugby.
Kenya Harlequins went into the circuit's final leg, leading the overall standings, and newer plays in the semi-finals would all but guarantee a first circuit title since 2016. KCB's early misfortunes of missing out on the quarterfinal almost saw the hope that the National Sevens title was all but sealed for Harlequins, having had a perfect day in Nakuru, winning all their group stage matches against Menengai Oilers, Zitek and Mombasa RFC. However, as it has been the tale of the circuit so far, there was more drama in the second day. The Pau Murunga coached side lost their quarterfinal tie 15-12 to Nemesis Nondis, dropping to 5th place playoff, while the closest rivals Kabra Sugar edged out a stubborn Black side 10-0 to advance to the main cup semi-final and hung onto the hope of capturing the overall title. Fate smiled Quins' way as Cabras lost 15-5 in the semi-final and subsequently handed over the title to Kenya Harlequins.
As I said, we want to finish on a high. Of course, every play, every game, every team counts. They are worth the opponent. So going the past performance, we've always got into semi-finals, finals, and even won 2 legs. So for us, we have our own targets and hopefully we'll achieve them.
Harlequins have been in scintillating form since the start of the circuit. They finished second in the season's opener Christie Sevens, won the Ingo Sevens in Kakamega, claimed bronze at the Dala Sevens in Kisumu and Kabeberi Sevens here in Nairobi, before winning Driftwood Sevens in Mombasa and closing the season in Nakuru as they claimed the overall title despite finishing 5th.
We had to dig deep as a team because it's not that easy in the finals. We have been expecting a lot from the team from the starting of the Christies until now, yet it has not been working. But today, I'm really happy to God for giving us this opportunity today to win these finals, by the way. We have been suffering for a lot of things, maybe change of management, change of the players, some players going to the national team, remaining for the new team to start. But today, you see, after building up, coming back, reset, start, now we have this win.
It's been a super competitive circuit this year, and it's welcome headache for National Sevens technical bench as Kenya gears to make her return to the World Sevens Ivy League, the 2024-25 HSBC 7 Series. The circuit's standard players will be hoping for call-ups to the 2 national sides that will represent Kenya in the upcoming Safari Sevens, as Kenya will field 3 teams, Shujaa, which is the national 7 side, second string Morans, and the winners of the 7th circuit, the Kenya Harlequins. Alex Kinywa, Sporty Monday.
Of course, beautiful stuff there at the Prinsloo Sevens in Nakuru, and of course, Steve Shitera's Cabra's Sugar couldn't really match the Quins. I'll start with you, Kinywa. A good story there, and probably getting us off. You followed the game closely, and basically on Friday, I believe, we're at their training venue. But what really has changed the matrix for Quins this time?
It's really been about investing. It's not even for this season alone. Kenya Harlequins started, recruiting and changing how the team was set up from last season. But then they didn't get the results that they wanted, of course, under Pau Murunga. But this season has been a revelation, having a very young team, but also backed by experienced players, the likes of Harman Humo, who is part of the National Sevens team. Kenya Harlequins have been the most consistent team throughout the circuit this season because they've made at least semi-finals in almost every leg. They've won only 2 legs, but that was enough to get them to the championship.
Because of the points accumulated over the other legs.
Yes, because they finished second in the opening leg, that is the Prinsloo Sevens. They lost to Cabras in the final. They won the Ingo Sevens in Kakamega, then went to Dala and they finished third. Came back to Nairobi for the Kabeberi, they finished third again, and then went to Driftwood in Mombasa, where they won they won the leg against KCB in the final. And then this weekend, they knew very well it was all about getting to the semi-finals because of the point difference they had between them. Cabra Sugar was second, and KCB were third going into the final leg. And what has really happened with Kenya Harlequins is really a lesson to other teams that teams can really build and make very good teams. When you look at the kind of players they had this season, Brad Nagila, Emon Omalo, the likes of Lucky Dewald, they've been really good when it comes to building up play. They're very quick, and then they of course benefit from the technical know-how of the likes of Harman Humo. And Pau Murunga was very intentional starting this circuit. I remember I spoke to him after the first leg, that was the Christie Sevens, and he said, we were just unlucky, and because we faced a Cabras Sugar and the boys were, waliogopaini Cabras, but he knew very well the kind of team he had. He was not very distracted by the national team collapse because only Harman Humo from that team was in the national setup. So the rest of the boys were together throughout the entire circuit. So I think that also gave him time to, always, keep the boys at it and, practice and make sure the team gels. Yeah.
You see, drawing or building on what Kenyo said, Quins have done really well in the 7th circuit, but can this now translate to Kenya Cup conquest in the new season?
That is the next conversation, because I was listening to the coach, Andrew Amonde, KCB, and he was saying that they have done their best, not enough for them to defend, but now they are shifting their focus to the Kenya Cup 15s. And really, there's always a conversation whether the balance can be found in some of these teams when it comes to 7s and 15s. I think that is going to be the biggest test now for Harlequins. And even to see whether Cabras, that is where they like it, winning all the time. Because you remember, okay, they have had also a fair season in the 7s. We know what they have done in the last few seasons when it comes to 15s. So basically, we are going to have a test of might when it comes to balancing 15s and 7s for all those teams. Now, I'm looking at how some of those teams are preparing, especially like KCB, the way they have changed, including their technical bench and all that. And it tells you that it's going to be a very interesting season. Nonetheless, I think there's some belief that comes with this fine run for the Harlequins that really this game is not for specific teams. If you plan well, if you execute well, you can challenge. And really, even talking about how dramatic the season was, Kenyo talked eloquently here about how Harlequins were not winning several legs, but at the end of the day, most points. Look at yesterday's drama, and from actually Saturday, that kind of drama, that it's actually the Nondis who are helping their rivals, to win this. Because when Harlequins were eliminated before the final, it was actually in the hands of Cabras. But Nondes came to help, and at the end of the day, in the final, they can't win it. You see, Leo's coming to take it, meaning that there's a lot of competition within these teams. And that is what we would want to see reflecting in the 15s, because you don't want to get to a season where you can conclude early enough that really this one is for KCB or Cabras to take. I think it's very interesting. Actually,
Kenya Harlequins, I think they should, donate some of the money that they won, the overall title prize, because Nondi's beat Kenya Harlequins in the quarterfinals, 15-12. That is what made them not make the semi-finals. Then Nondis got to the semi-finals and they beat Cabras, which now made it easier for Kenya Harlequins to win the title, because Cabras Sugar were number 2. If they'd gone on to win the leg, Cabras Sugar would have been crowned the champions. But Nondis, they were informed. First of all, they beat KCB in the group stage. They went through Kenya Harlequins, beat Cabras. It was a very good weekend for them, but a very dismal display. I don't know whether they spent all their energy in the.
That's the best arguments, actually.
Then a very dismal display in the final, where they were really hammered by Strathmore Leos, winning the final leg. Yeah. Okay.
Shitera, of course, you've always rooted for competition. For long it was KCB dominating the scene, then Cabras now are the big boys, and we've seen now Quins send their very, very strong warning. What do you make of this? You've always championed, we want to see more teams come to the top and challenge the two big boys, and Quins have done that just exactly, and now the eyes, as Isia and Kenya say, shift to the Kenya Cup League next term.
At last, there is some fresh air, because something that has been dominated by two teams exchanging, like a relay, Cabras and KCB, Cabras, KCB. Now it's a challenge. Harlequins has shown the likes of Nondis that it's possible. So it's up to Nondis and the other teams below to put up a proper planned recruitment, of course, including talents that we have just seen from our secondary schools in the secondary school games, so as to uplift the status of the competition. I like it when the circuit rotates around the country. Western can experience it. Nyanza can experience it, Rift Valley, Nairobi, and then the coast. So it brings a cohesion in that sport, and the talents can really follow up and see what is happening on the field. So going forward, I think Harlequins has clearly shown that the hustlers can also do it.
The hustlers can also do it. I'll come to you, Brenda Ongalo, gracing our show for the very first time. Karibu sana.
Asante sana.
Yes.
Thank you.
As a sports lawyer and probably a sports enthusiast, probably your thoughts on what went down in Nakuru, and also as a lady, probably what would you champion for women rugby in Kenya?
Before we move to the women, just the fact that we are able to have a new champion for the circuit, it really speaks to how organization of how when teams become organized, and how when teams are consistent in their training, consistent in just concentrating on the kind of people that they do have, despite I like that Kenya has spoken about the coach not being bothered about national team call-ups, because I think most of our teams fail at, I did not get most of my team members to the national team. So it kind of demoralizes them. But you see, if they did not allow that to get into them, then it should just speak to all other teams. That is not always the aim, like maybe in your first show up for the team. So the moment you have young talent, it speaks about the patience, get into that team, prove yourself. Then when you continuously play and win, then you earn that position rightfully. So when we move to the women question, I think at this point it's important for us to ensure that we give the similar support, and let us see strengthened structures both for the women and the men. So as much as we do have this circuit going on, can that be replicated for the women? Can the same support be replicated for the women? Let us not see the variance that we always observe even in other sports, where we see that the women are given maybe half or less of what the male counterparts earn, or the support that they are given in that particular sport. Yeah.
Precisely. And of course, you are asking Ziti Jimoy. Ziti Jimoy is away today, but as you can see, we're in good company of Brenda Ongalo.
She has been replaced immediately.
Immediately.
that was fast. And it is good to note, by the way, Sila, before we get away from rugby, it is good to know that Impala ladies won the women category. There's a national seven circuit for women. And for the first time in 5 years, we had 8 teams. The likes of Northern Suburbs, the likes of Racket. We had Mwamba, and Impala, of course, won the overall circuit. Yeah.
Okay. And of course, still